welcome or welcome back to Well with Mika, where we talk real wellness for your real life. I'm Mika, your cultural wellness ally, and today is Mental Health Mondays. Okay, so we're going to get into just a little bit about mental health and how we take care of our minds, all right? One habit at a time. A lot of us think about mental health only when we're in a crisis, like when the stress hits, the anxiety, the overwhelm, when it just feels like too much. But our minds, they need daily care, just like our bodies. So the tiny choices, tiny habits, they matter. Before we get into it, I do want to say this. Not all mental health struggles can be handled by a podcast episode or breathing exercise, okay? If you are facing something deeper, whether it's depression, trauma, or anything that feels bigger than you, please know it's not only strong, it's smart, it's wise to go and reach out for real help, okay? Therapy, support groups, medication, whatever you need, this is not the replacement for that. So please get the help that you need. But for today, in this episode, I want to share some small, everyday ways we can protect our minds, build resilience, and feel a little more grounded in this world here that would love to have us just spinning in circles, okay? Now, one of my favorite ideas comes from Stephen Covey's book, First Things First. If you haven't read this book, this is like pretty much everything seems to come from here, in my opinion. It's such a great book. So in this book, he talks about 3 circles, right? You have the circle of concern, and that's pretty much everything you worry about. The news, the economy, other people's opinions, family drama, what strangers are doing on the internet. Is this big old huge bucket, but mostly out of your control, right? Then there's the circle of influence, the things that you can touch or change, which includes, your choices, your habits, your home, your family, your words. And then there's right in the middle is your center of focus, the stuff that matters most, your values, your health, your relationships, your peace. This is where you get, the most return on your energy, time. That's where you get the most bang for your buck. So here's the thing. Today, our circle of concern is massive, okay? Because of social media and the internet, we see every tragedy, every debate, every highlight of someone else's life, of the world. And we are just carrying all of that in our heads, in our hands, in our pockets, our pocketbooks, through the phone. And guess what? We can't fix it all. And that is draining. And one of the kindest things that you could do for your mental health is to shrink that circle of concern, okay? And grow that circle of influence and really pour your energy, your best energy into the center of focus, because that's where the meat is, that's where that meat and potatoes or them good veggies, that's where you want to live. So how do we do that realistically? Tiny habits, okay, boos? Tiny habits. And we're going to call them micro mental health habits. We're going to take small shifts done daily that protect your mind. We don't need a bunch of fancy tools, no big price tag, just doable real life stuff. And you don't have to do them all. Please understand that. This is not take this whole book and just devour it. No, we don't need that. Just pick 1 or 2 that fit your life right now. Maybe tomorrow morning, before you reach for your phone, you're just going to pause. You're going to have a little morning mental anchor, we're going to call it, okay? Just pause, lay there, breathe, ask yourself, how do I want to feel today, okay? What is my intention for the day? Or maybe you could just name 3 things you're grateful for. Keep a little notepad or journal next to your bed and just write it down. 3 things that you're grateful for. You got to be specific, though. We've talked about this before, whether it's the warmth of your blanket, whether it's the feeling of your bed, the sound of quiet, the birds chirping, the kids sleeping safely, or the noise outside. Some people love the noise. Whatever it is that you're grateful for, just write down 3 of them, okay? And if you can, step outside for 2 or 3 minutes of sunlight within that first hour of waking up. If you can't step outside, maybe poke your head outside of a window. Just take in some fresh air, some sunlight, and that can help regulate your mood and your sleep. It's small, but it is powerful. Now we're going to move on to like some stress response micro habits. When stress hits, and you know it will, you can build in some tiny pauses. We talked about the breathing before. Try some 4-7-8 breathing. Inhale for 4, hold it for 7, then you're going to exhale for 8. It calms your body's alarm system, okay? Or say out loud what you're feeling. Maybe when I say it out loud, you don't need to say it to someone, but you can just say it so that you put a name to whatever it is that you're feeling. Yo, I'm feeling frustrated right now. It sounds simple, but it tells your brain, look, I'm in charge of this. I'm not going to let you run wild. I'm going to steer this, okay? One more is try the 20-second rule. When you're about to pop off, when you're going to crash out, don't do it. Count backwards from 20. Give your mind a space before your mouth or your fingers say or do something that you're about to regret, okay? Just count down from 20 and calm yourself down. Now I want you to think about some connection and maybe some, let's call them happiness joy builders, all right? Some little tiny sparks of happiness or little, sprinkles of joy into your life. We're going to compliment someone because part of taking care of your mental health is giving. So you want to give somebody a compliment and mean it. Please don't do a sarcastic compliment. It's not a compliment, all right? Maybe stretch or dance for 30 seconds in your kitchen. Notice one beautiful thing each day, whether it's a flower, the sky, your kids laughing. Just let it be enough to lift you for a moment, all right? You want to just add in these little moments of joy. When you tell someone something nice about themselves, that's one of the best things that you can do for someone's day. You don't know what their day has been like, or maybe you do know. So give them that compliment. Look around. We miss so much when we focus on all the things going wrong around us, all the complaining that we can do. No, be intentional. Look around and say, you know what? I love this thing. I love that I live here. I love that I have this thing. I love this person, all right? Move your body, stretch it, dance, do whatever you need to do, okay? Those are what you want to build into your day. And then now let's get down to the evening. At night, we can close the day gently, all right? Try having a little worry window where you give yourself just 5 minutes to write down whatever's just sitting there taking up space in your mind, all right? Then you want to close whatever it is you wrote that down, turn over the paper, close the book, and tell yourself that's enough for tonight. Then if you need to counteract that, you want to write down something that maybe a few things that happened great for the day, okay? So that you can leave your thoughts on something positive. Then I want you to set a digital sunset, meaning phones, they gotta go. The phones have to go away at least a half hour before bed. We've talked about this, babes. We have talked about this, and now I'm what is it? The pot calling the kettle black. That's it. That's me, because I find it difficult sometimes, but we have to do it because it is worth it. If we really want to tackle our mental health, we have to stop scrolling, put the phone down, put it outside the room, just get it away from you at least a half hour before you go down, okay? And if your mind races, write down tomorrow's top 3 things that you have to get out before you lay down. The top 3 things you have to take care of. You want to clear that clutter in your mind before it just starts crawling into your dreams. No, we want to put nice things in the dreams, okay? So just get it out, get it on paper, type it into your phone before you put it down for the night. Just get it out and get it over with, okay? So it's like it's like prep for the next day. Now you also want to feed your brain. Your brain runs on what you feed it. Drink. Hydration is so key, okay? Drink a glass of water before reaching for that coffee first thing in the morning. Add a little protein to each meal. It keeps your mood steady, and it avoids a lot of the sugar, the overload in sugar, okay? You don't want that. You want to keep sugar low. You want to make sure that you're including some protein. It doesn't have to be loads of protein, but you want to make sure you have balanced meals, okay? And lastly, to I just want you to know that you don't have to do everything, okay? This is just a reminder. Don't think you have to do all of what I listed. Don't treat this like another chore. You want to pick just one thing, one tiny thing that feels right to you this week. Repeat it until it becomes part of your regular routine and you don't even have to think about it, all right? Then maybe you can add another onto it. Tiny doesn't mean weak, doesn't mean whack. Tiny means sustainable, all right? Because remember, we're about right for you, energizing, achievable, and lasting, okay? We want real health, real wellness. So these small steps, they add up to make big shifts over time. And remember, if the tiny habits aren't enough for you right now, that's okay. It doesn't mean you're failing. It just means you're human and you deserve help that meets you where you are. So if that means you need to get more help, please do that. If that means you need to scale back, just try one little habit for a longer time, do that, all right? You want to shrink that circle of concern. Focus your energy on what you can touch and protect your peace. Now that's the real mental health, okay? So I'm so grateful for you for joining me today. I hope and pray that this episode helped. Share it with someone you love. Listen to it again. Tell me whatever tiny habit you're starting this week. I'd love to hear about it in the comments. Take care of your mind. One small moment, one small habit at a time, okay? Be well, and as always, happy healthing. Peace.